My name's Danny Ivatt. I'm a freelance senior product manager. That really encompasses several things. I work with organizations to help them develop great products, identify gaps in the market and create and craft things that meet the needs of their users. And I also teach product development, product management here at General Assembly. The funny thing about being a product manager is, or working in product, is that there's no real defined career path into it. It's a relatively new thing, although it's been around for some years. And so everybody's path into it is different. And it's only recently that these ways of becoming a product manager, associate programs, training, have become a thing. My path into it is therefore, it's unique, and other people's will be very different. My first proper job, I guess you could call it, was in software development. From there, I moved into kind of general project management in a Prince 2 sense, which isn't something I do anymore. And then I spent quite a lot of time agency side working in research and then later on in service design. Many of the clients that I had, because I generally perform client-facing roles, were tech companies or people who were looking to innovate. I did work with Met Office and other clients we had included people like Samsung and Nokia and Microsoft, and that kind of got me back into the world of digital and tech. When I first started out, the kind of scene that there is now globally and in London especially didn't really exist, and so from my agency work I got exposed to that world again and moved into product. The great thing about digital product development is I'm not going to say it's easy, because it's not, and it can be hard, but the ease with which you can launch something, the ease with which you can get a product out there that people can use. And for me, some of the most rewarding things about the work that I've done are the fact that products that I have created with a team of other people, but products that I've created are used by millions of people. And before the digital revolution, before the advent of the digital revolution, it was very difficult to make statements like that with certainty. When people were tied to physical products and not things that are accessible as software or through the web, it was harder to do that. But these days, if you work in this field and you become renowned and influential, and the kind of opportunities that are available to you, you can really put your stamp on things and be confident that people are using them and enjoying them. The biggest challenge is probably the bit that I enjoy the most as well, in that a product manager leads a team but doesn't typically lead a team as the direct manager or line manager of everybody in the team. You might not get paid more than the people in your team, and they will certainly know more about their disciplines than you do. And so I think one of the biggest challenges is that you have to continuously learn and grow, and that takes time. For me, that's an enjoyable part of the job, but it doesn't mean that it's not a challenge as well. I think day to day, the thing that I've certainly found the most challenging, my peers and contemporaries might also tell you they find challenging. If they don't, I'm not sure whether I believe them. And certainly the students that I take through, the cohorts of students I take through the GA course, find most challenging is stakeholder relationships and stakeholder management. A product manager sits between the kind of outside world and the inside world of their team, and one of your primary jobs is to shield your team from undue influence. You should be the one making prioritization decisions. You should be the one deciding what happens next. You should be the one creating an inspiring vision that your team can work towards. But in any organization, whether you're a startup with VCs who are very concerned with profitability, or whether you work in a bank or a big corporate setting where you've got finance directors, CEOs, whomever else expressing an interest in what you do, it is a challenge to protect your team and to continue to own the vision when you've got influence from stakeholders, especially stakeholders who are senior, experienced, influential, powerful. And I think that's one of the parts of the role that it takes time to learn. I've just finished 12 months working with government, and I really enjoyed that actually. I don't know whether people watching this will be aware, but the Government Digital Service GDS model of product development is one that I really believe in, and so that period was great for me. But I think what I'm most proud of is probably what I'm doing now and the position that I've reached now. I'm fortunate enough that I've learned enough from my career that I'm able to impart some of that knowledge and some of that drive and enthusiasm and passion for this as a career to other people. And so becoming, somewhat influential and renowned within London, which is a digital hub for what I do, I think is probably, the most satisfying thing that I've done. I don't think anybody has had a career where they've never made mistakes. But I think the only thing I would have done differently is understood that, when you work in the settings that I've worked in, your knowledge increases over time, and it's only when you step outside of those settings that you realize what you know, as compared to your peers or other people. And I guess the only thing I probably would have done differently is done things a little sooner. So I'm going to continue working here at GA because I really believe that people should do this as a job. There are a myriad of opportunities for people who want to work in product. Like most people who work in the digital industries, I have ideas of my own and things that I want to do, and I'm going to continue developing those. But I think in its broadest sense, to be influential and work either for myself or with other organizations to craft great products that people enjoy using. And the great thing about having a product mentality, a user-focused mentality, is that can live with you throughout your career and as you grow. You don't need to be a product manager forever, but the organizations that are going to be a success as we head into the 21st century, whether they are the disruptive innovators, the Ubers of this world, or the small startups, or the big corporates, the ones that are going to be a success are going to be the product and user-focused organizations. And so my goal really is just to, is to continue growing and learning about product development and creating products that people like to use. The thing is that this didn't really exist when I started my career. I mean, I'm not that old, but maybe in Silicon Valley it did, but certainly not in the northwest of England where I was. And I always had aspirations to make a success of myself, but one of the reasons that I do what I do at GA is because you can't learn this stuff at school, or at least you couldn't, and you can't really learn it at university. The Harvard Business School has only just in the last couple of years required people attending the course to create their own product whilst attending the course. And so I'm not sure I could have aspired to do what I do now when I was younger. I always felt like, I wanted to go to work, be myself, work with intelligent people, be driven, be passionate, get very well rewarded for doing that, work in an interesting setting and do something that can make changes and be influential. I always felt like I wanted to do those things, but I guess it's only later on that I discovered that there is a world that you can actually exist in that allows you to do all of those things. And I think we're fortunate in that many of the traditional ways that businesses operate are being disrupted, and there are changes even in large enterprise settings so that you can have all of those things.
Source LF are London's leading creative communications and media recruitment agency. Be sure to like our video and subscribe to this channel. Take the moment to watch another of our videos on screen now.